Hello, this presentation is about heart failure. Before we go any further, one thing I'd like to make sure that you understand is that heart failure is not the same as heart attack. I see quite often that people use these two terms interchangeably, but they mean two absolutely different things. And over the next few slides, you will understand why it is important to know the difference between these two conditions. This is a two-part presentation and you're now watching the first part. Before we go into the topic itself, what exactly does the heart do? We all know that heart is a muscle. Imagine this heart muscle to be a pump. Now this pump holds all the blood that is circulating in the body within its four chambers. With each beat, the left ventricle, which is the left lower chamber of the heart, pumps out about 55 to 70% of this blood volume into the main artery that carries blood to all the organs through its branches, and this main artery is called the aorta. This amount of blood that's pumped out with each beat is considered to be the ejection fraction of the heart, and the normal range for this is 55 to 70%. Now this blood is rich in oxygen and nutrients. It goes to all the tissues through the arterial network that we have within our bodies, and it supplies the nourishment to all organs. Now, what actually happens in heart failure? Well, there are two mechanisms by which heart failure can develop. Heart muscle starts getting weaker because of various reasons, and as a result the pumping mechanism starts failing over time. That can lead to heart failure. On the other hand, the heart as a pump is not able to fill adequately because of increased thickening of the heart muscle, and this can happen in certain situations. One of the most important reasons for this to happen is when the blood pressure remains high for long over a long period of time without good control. As a result of one of these mechanisms or both these mechanisms, sometimes the heart will not be able to pump out as much blood with each beat. This in turn means that the ejection fraction, which is the percentage of blood that comes out of the heart with each beat, it starts going down. So as we just discussed in the previous slide, normal ejection fraction is 55 to 70%, and this when it starts going down and goes to a very low level, that indicates that the heart failure has become very severe. So the lower the EF, the more severe the heart failure. Also, because the heart is not able to pump out as much blood, it means that the organs do not get proper nourishment, because the blood flow to the organs, different organs in the body, goes down and therefore they don't get the oxygen and nutrient rich blood and the nourishment from that. And this typically is the reason why a person will develop symptoms of heart failure early on. Later on there are other reasons that actually make the symptoms much worse, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I mentioned in the very first slide itself that heart attack is not the same as heart failure. I'm sure by now you understood why that is so. So just to reiterate, when there is a blockage in one or more of the arteries that supply blood to the heart muscle itself, then blood supply to that portion of the heart muscle is cut off. That is heart attack. And heart attack is almost always sudden. On the other hand, when the heart muscle, which acts like a pump, it starts getting weaker and starts failing, it then is not able to fully eject or let the blood contained inside come out effectively. That is heart failure. Heart failure is almost always gradual. What causes heart failure? Many causes. One important factor, uncontrolled high BP. If you've had one or more heart attacks previously, there might be enough damage to the muscle that it may start failing as a pump, again leading to heart failure. If someone has multiple blockages in the coronary arteries, these are the arteries that supply blood to the heart muscle, without actually having a heart attack, they can also develop heart failure. Heart valve defects. There are valves that control the flow of blood between the chambers of the heart and also between the chambers and the large blood vessels that carry blood from the heart and to the heart. So if there are defects in these valves, that can also cause heart failure. Smoking is a strong risk factor for heart failure. Excessive alcohol consumption can have a direct impact on the heart muscle and lead to heart failure. Diabetes certainly can play a very important role, especially if the sugars are uncontrolled. And certain infections like rheumatic fever, certain viruses, and certain other types of microorganisms can also cause heart failure. And there are, of course, many other causes that I'm not able to elaborate in this discussion today. How does a person feel if he or she has heart failure? First of all, you will need to keep in mind that heart failure can range from being very mild to a very severe disease process. As a result, the symptom intensity tends to vary quite a bit. Because of poor nourishment to the organs as a result of poor blood supply, shortness of breath may result initially with activity, but as the heart failure progresses, even at rest, palpitations, being tired or not having any energy, and of course organ damage because of poor nourishment. Now, because in heart failure the heart is failing as a pump, fluid tends to back up in the veins, which in turn will cause swelling in different parts of the body. This swelling can be in the legs, feet, or even the entire legs, typically on both sides. Facial puffiness, distended abdomen because of fluid buildup in the abdominal cavity, cough and shortness of breath because of fluid backing up into the lungs, and sometimes this fluid can also collect around the lungs. The symptoms of heart failure in the form of a picture. Coughing is one important symptom. Being tired constantly. Shortness of breath is an extremely common symptom of heart failure. Like I said, it can vary from being very mild to quite severe, occurring even at rest. And because of the fluid buildup in the lungs, a person may develop edema or swelling within the lungs, and fluid may also collect around the lungs as well as in the abdominal cavity. And we've talked about swelling in the ankles and legs that can result from the pump failure. Don't forget to watch part 2 of this presentation.